Let's get started. So good morning, everyone. Today I'm talking about adrenal gland. And then my assignment is these three, but I want to skip this one because I think you can read by yourself. So I will focus on anatomy, physiology, and neoplasm of the adrenal gland. So the adrenal gland on top, anatomy, we know that this is triangle shape. So every time we are in the 3 p.m., low power, you can see something triangle shape. You're suspicious, whether it is that's adrenal gland. Because if you do not have really good impression of this gland, you will totally overwhelming. You don't know where are you. So triangle shape, and then from the outside to inside, we have this capsule, and then we have cortex, and this bluish layer, that is the medulla. So in the HND staining, we have 3 layers in the cortex. That is our GFR. I think you still remember it from the USMLE. It's the glomerulosa. And then the hormone is aldosterone. And then fasciculata, this lipid-rich cell layer. And then this layer had occupied most of our cortex area. And then the hormone is cortisol. And then the other cell layer is the reticularis. This cell kind of darker compared to these 2 layers, and also lipid limited. So if lipid rich, we can see this fasciculata, we can see this clear cytoplasm. And then this one is darker, even darker than the glomerulosa cells. And then the hormone is, the class is antigen, that's DHEA. And then in the inside of the adrenal gland, that is the medulla. The cells are chromaffin cell, bluish looking, not really good here, but we can see more slide. And then the hormone class is catecholamine. The hormone is epinephrine, and here we can remember GFR, and then salt, sugar, and sex hormone. So high power of this cortex, 3 layer, and then the medulla. You can see this kind of bluish color. And then we move to our adrenal neoplasm. So you can see a lot of diagnosis here, but actually just 4 entities. The first one is adrenal cortical adenoma / carcinoma. And then these 3 are fall into the same category. And then we have Myelolipoma, and then Pheochromocytoma. So the first one is adrenal cortical adenoma and carcinoma. Usually well circumscribed, but lacking fibrous capsule. And then the cells are larger than the normal adrenal cortex cells. And then most of the cells try to make a sonar fasciculata layer. And then the cell nuclei show single round or oval shape with chromatin, margination, and single dot line nucleolus. They have a variable heterogeneity. They combine lipid-rich or lipid-poor cells. So here's the picture showing the nuclear feature. We can see heterozygosity. That is, we have lipid-rich cells, and then we also have this eosinophilic cell. You can see the nuclear. We can see this prominent nucleoli. The nucleus kind of fit different size. Also, this one, you can also see this like monster nucleus. And then here is, we can see this cytoplasmic inclusion body lamellar shape. So this patient had aldosterone secreting adenoma. And then we have this Spironolactone body. I think one time totally show us this one. And then immunostaining for the cortical specific, there's SF1 inhibin or melanin, and negative for chromogranin. And you need to notice that synaptophysin can stain both the cortex and the medulla. And then why we put adenoma and carcinoma together, because only in H&E we need to use kind of this criteria to tell us whether it is malignant or not. So from this XPROPAS algorithm, we first need to see whether the cells are oncocytic or not. That means do we have most of the cells are clear cytoplasm, lipid-rich cytoplasm? If not, then we will call this oncocytic. So if they are oncocytic, we use these criteria. And then we just need to meet one major criteria that is here: high mitotic rate, atypical mitotic figure, or venous invasion. That is the one for the oncocytic one. If not, we use these ways criteria. And then basically they always emphasize that mitosis, necrosis, and invasion, growth, tumor, necrosis. And then for this ways criteria, we need to meet 3 or more than 3. When we determine this, that is carcinoma, and then we count more the mitotic figure in this high power field. Less than 20, that's the low grade. More than 20 or 50 high power field, that's the high grade. So then we move to this category. Put these 3 together because I just copied this one from this YouTube channel because she write on this really good algorithm to help us to really fast understand this 3 entities. First, we need to see how much Swannian stroma in the tumor. If more than 50 Swannian stroma, that is a swan cells stroma, more than 50, you just consider these 2 categories first. And then to differentiate these 2, this one we can see neuroblastoma here in this entity. So in this one, we can see neuroblast. And then this one, we just can see ganglion cells. So, and then we can tell these 2 apart, more than 50% stroma, and then with neuroblast. And then if less than 50% Swannian stroma, and then we also can see neuroblast. So that is neuroblastoma. This is malignant, borderline, and benign. So here, this is the malignant one, neuroblastoma. They also can subdivide it into these 3 categories. The first one is undifferentiated. That means all of the cells, not all of the neuroblasts, minimum cytoplasm with hyperchromatic nucleus. And then if they have kind of more cytoplasm, kind of want to differentiate it into ganglion cell, but they still have this mature one mixed together. This is the truly differentiated. And then if we have more abundant cytoplasm, and then but they still with the neuroblast feature, not really line mature ganglion, that is the differentiated neuroblast. And then for this one, as I mentioned before, we have more than 50% of Swannian stroma. And then we also can see this bluish neuroblast. They either forming this nest. They call it the Ganglioneuroblastoma nodule type. And then if they intermix with the ganglion cells, Swannian stroma, neuroblast together, that is the Ganglioneuroblastoma intermixed type. And then the last one, we have more than 50% of Swannian stroma. And then we have these ganglion cells, 3 mature ganglion cell, and then no neuroblast. That is our benign entity, Ganglioneuroma. So talking about this kind of neuroblast thing, last time we also talked about Wills tumor, blastoma. So a lot of the Rosettes here, I just want to clearly find this Rosette structure. So classic Rosette is we have this nucleus, cell, body, and then we have kind of lumen. So this is we call two rosettes, like this one. Empty, this is a lumen. This one is two epidermal rosettes. We can see it in adenoma. And then the other one, this one we lose this lumen inside. We just have this neutrophil. This one is right rosette. And then move to the other one. This one we have this lumen, but we also have these cytoplasmic processes inside. This is the flexular intestinal rosette. And then this last one, this one we can see some red blood cell. This lumen is not like this one. This is a vessel. So the cell just pulsating around the vessel. This is a pseudo rosette. We call that a vascular pseudo rosette. So let's move this one. What do you think of this? Who's any of this? True. This is flexular intestinal because we can see a little bit of this cytoplasmic process inside. And then how about this one? Yes, this is a homorized rosette. And then this one, we have lumen without anything inside, right? Even no red blood cell. So this is true epidermal rosette. And then this one really easy to tell. We have red blood cell. So this is our perivascular pseudo rosette. Okay, let's continue. And then the immunomarker for this neuroblast, neuroblastoma, we have tons of it, but I searched our stock. We don't have these two. These two I just find it in the expert path. Looks like really good high sensitivity, specificity, especially it can tell us to differentiate from other round bone cell carcinoma thing, but we don't have these two. I don't know whether we can get it in the test. So we just basically just use our neuroendocrine markers, synaptophysin, chromogranin, in these two. And then we need to combine other markers to differentiate it into from other small blue cell sarcoma, carcinoma. So this one is pretty straightforward and easy to tell. There's myelolipoma. What you need to know, just like kind of well circumscribed tumor in the adrenal gland. And you just, when you see it, you just thinking, oh, whether we're just looking into any bone marrow thing, because we have every component of the bone marrow, mature fat and all kind of hematopoietic cells. And then also usually related to the cortical adenoma. You can see really well circumscribed. And then we have all kind of hematopoietic cells. We also have this big guy, like a keratinocyte, really easy to tell. And then fat, trilineage differentiation here. So this is myelolipoma. And then the last category is our Pheochromocytoma. When this chromatin cell forming tumor in the adrenal gland, we call it Pheochromocytoma. If outside the adrenal gland, we know that there's Ganglioneuroblastoma. And also malignancy of benign, we have some criteria in the H&E, but not really good to tell from H&E only. We usually need to combine our clinical history. So the cells, in this low power, we can see this cell forming sheets, a net of cell, and then a lot of blood vessel. And then the cytoplasm is granular and really bluish, purplish. The high power, you can see some cells have a prominent nucleoli, open chromatin, but this bluish granular cytoplasm can help you to have this diagnosis. And then the FC marker, we divide it into two categories. The older one is our neuroprime marker that is synaptophysin, chromogranin, and the more new one is our transcriptional factor, including INSL1 and GATA3. So the presentation is about it, and then we can look at some slides. First, for this low power, we can see maybe here we can see kind of three-layer granulosa, and reticularis. So this may be normal adrenal gland, but inside here is the bluish cell, maybe some medulla here. But other than that, we get this hit of perforation of somewhat like maybe normal adrenal gland, but you can think that is kind of bigger. And let's go to higher power. Most of the cell lipid rich. Some cells will have this oncocytic cytoplasm. When we see this one, not just normal adrenal gland, see this area oncocytic. So we may think of cortical adenoma. And then go to high power to see this oncocytic cytoplasm sheets. And then here we have some lipid-rich cells. And then if we looking for necrosis, mitosis, this slide, none of them. And then other than that, I would like to show you one. This lamellae cytoplasmic inclusion, Spironolactone body. Let's go to high power. Yeah. Between lamella growing. So this patient had aldosterone secretory adenoma and then get some treatment.
Do these bodies go away or they remain there for life?
But how? I think we may not know because they already get something else.
Okay.
That is true. It may grow back.
Somebody can prove.
Yes. This one we can see kind of classic triangle shape of this adrenal gland, right? So next time low power, you can tell, oh, maybe this is the medulla area, really bluish, and then our three-layer of normal adrenal gland. And then we have this well circumscribed tumor here. This one is different than the previous one. Most of the cell sheets grow with this oncocytic cytoplasm, really limited cell with lipid. And then even in this power, we can see some nucleus is really dark and really big, even in this power towards. Yeah, you can see really pleomorphic cells. And then this one side out from our report is borderline because they can see this really pleomorphic cell, but they try to fit into the oncocytic. We need to use the Lyn's race criteria. But because this criteria is really limited, just like a typical mitotic figure, and I don't think they find any. And then the mitotic figure is high more than 550 high power view. I don't think we can find that many. And then also the just venous invasion. I don't think they can find any. But because they have some minor criteria, maybe the pleomorphic, because if this is not from a adrenal gland and other kind of tumor, you think, oh, so pleomorphic tumor cells. But for this one, you sign out just line borderline. You just could not tell.
Okay, then why?
Cortical adenoma borderline.
Non-malignant.
Yes. This one, this looks like normal adrenal gland. We have this almost forming some of the Rosette thing. This kind of like Rosette and the oncocytic changes. And then the still no power for a while. Some areas it looks like necrosis here. And then really bloody of this one. And then if we look in high power, we can see some mitotic figure. And also the cell kind of pleomorphic, but compared to the previous one, it seems not as pleomorphic as the previous one. We can see necrosis here. And then some area I can find some mitotic figures. We are not going to count here. But
The previous one was not a Pheochromocytoma, right?
Pheochromocytoma.
Yeah, like the major tumor.
Oh, you mean for the pheochromocytoma?
The previous one. They also have like lots of
Yes.
large, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So this one sign out because they can find more than 5 mitotic figure in 50 high power view. So they sign out adenal cortical carcinoma in this one. So to show you this 2 slides, I just want to show you maybe the first look you always thinking just cortical adenoma. But when you see some polymorphism and some mitotic figure, you need to try to fit whether they fit for any of that criteria for the malignancy. So next we see some easy one. This one usually we can tell in Joex. Kind of like well circumscribed, normal, and then this normal, and then full of this adipocyte, and then in high power, this no.
There's one of them.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The keratinocytes, and then we have this trilineage differentiation. The dark one is the reflowcyte precursor, and then the paler one is the myeloid differentiation. So this one is Myelolipoma. Then we just need one more. And then Sunday. So all of these kind of bluish shell cells, minimum cytoplasm before into our small blue cell category. So because we are in this chapter, we really high suspicious for neuroblastoma because we didn't see any Swannian stroma. Maybe this a little bit, but I'm not sure. Maybe just the fibroblasts. Okay. We need the staining to tell whether there's a S100 positive Swannian cell stroma. And it's bluish cells. We didn't see clear ganglion cells when I scanned on the slide. Just this, all the cells look the same. To be kind of poorly differentiated because some of these cells have a little bit more cytoplasm. And then when we do staining, we have some icing pomegranate because we do not have other specific marker for this entity. So this is blastoma. So we just need to see whether they have less than 50% Swannian stroma, and then whether we can find this neuroblast cells. Of course, we need to do other staining to rule out other one small cell, carcinoma or sarcoma, and then you can make this diagnosis. See one more. Again, in this low power, we can see this bluish sheets next proliferation of these small blue cells. And then we're looking at how much Swannian stroma, obviously less than 50% if we can find any. And then we can see these cells, nuclear feature is expanded nucleoli and the minimum cytoplasm. And then maybe some cells are differentiating, they have more abundant cytoplasm, numbers minimum. Like this area, we can see this primitive neuroblast cells, minimum cytoplasm. So see one more. This one a little bit different because this one I tell you this is not neuroblastoma. I just want to show you one more of these more strong blue cell differentiation. This one we can see these bluish cells, but they have kind of fibrous septa. This is not Swannian stroma. When you do S100, that's totally negative. A little bit, I don't know whether this artifact or just true kind of discoherency, muscular forming. And then this one is CD99 positive. You can see this fibrous septa. Divide these bluish cells, kind of smaller cells. And then Dasmin positive, myogene and MyoD1 positive. This is the alveolar rhabdomyosarcoma. I just want to show you some of these small cell, brown blue cell entity. Sometimes they look really similar. So we need to do immunostaining before you make the final diagnosis. Like I mentioned, Wills tumors would be a good one, neuroblastoma, and other soft tissue tumor like this alveolar rhabdomyosarcoma. Because when you do synaptizing chromogranin, they may be positive. So you could not tell by these two markers. This one look quite different from the previous two, even they are in the same category. This is normal adrenal gland, right? And then we have this also well circumscribed, but this time we can see this spindly perforation stroma. That is the Swannian stroma. And then clearly when you get in the slide, more than 50% of this stroma. And then when you see this, if you didn't know you are in the adrenal gland, you think of, oh, maybe there is like schwannoma, anything like this. But when you know you are in the adrenal gland, and then you are trying to hunt for something else. We're looking for this guy, this big guy, ganglion cells. And then we didn't see any neuroblast. So this is Ganglioneuroma, totally benign entity. We can also see this in GI tract. But you need to make sure you didn't see any neuroblast. Just this Ganglioneuroblastoma and this ganglion cells. Look quite similar. All of this Ganglioneuroblastoma. And then what about this? What do you think of this bluish cells aggregation? The neuroblast. More here. And then of course we have our friend ganglion cells. So we have more than 50% of this Ganglioneuroblastoma, ganglion cell, Ganglioneuroma. And then we have this suspicious area. I can tell you this is a lymphocyte. Maybe here it's not really easy to tell. How you can see this now kind of smaller. This is lymphocyte, right? Other area. Yeah, this is a lymphocyte. But you're not sure you can do some staining because our neuroendocrine marker can really easy to pick out the lymphocyte from the neuroblast. So this is another Ganglioneuroma. So, this is one case. For this one, we still can see this spindly Ganglioneuroblastoma. Right, we have this. May think this is our lymphocyte. I can tell this is a lymphocyte. And then we have our big friends, ganglion cell. So we may think of a Ganglioneuroma. Then we scan this kind of lymphocytes or the slide like this. Almost like a germinal center. Yeah, but this is a lymphocyte. So it's one part of this specimen, but they have other parts. Tricky here. This one lymphocyte, Ganglioneuroma, ganglion cell. We have all parts to make a diagnosis. But don't stop. Just continue to scan lymphocytes. Ganglion cells, lymphocytes. But we can see some cells like this. Let's go to high power. See, this is not ganglion cells. This is neuroblasts. So you can compare side by side, small lymphocyte. Now you can see much smaller. It's much bigger. Even they have minimum cytoplasm. So this is neuroblast. So this one's a Ganglioneuroblastom. That is one of our borderline entity. So you can see sometimes it's sneaking. It can just adjacent to the smaller lymphocytes. Yeah, if low power, sometimes hard to tell. For high power, you can see. Actually, there are tons of them. So don't miss it. But this one is really rare. In our Ganglioneuroma stock, I can find a slide 2 or 3 cases of this one. So I think because of so rare, so people do not have really good research to tell the prognosis of this one. Let me show you some more things. This one is beta 3. Previous slide. So this cell, neuroblast cell, positive, and then the lymphocytes negative. So that's really tell us. And I can tell you this cells is WT1 negative, chromogranin positive as well. Okay, let's go to our last sentence. Normal adrenal gland, still triangle shape. But this time we have this next proliferation bluish cell, but this cell is not like neuroblast cell. They have abundant cytoplasm and then vasculature full of this vessel.
Disappear.
Yes, this is field. In the adrenal gland, we call it field. Outside adrenal gland, there's ganglioma. You can see some kind of polymorphism here that we really could not tell whether it's malignancy or not. Yeah, I think that's it for today.
Thank you.
Is there any question?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.